Hi, I'm Mason Duchatschek, and I'm the co-author of the book, Sales Utopia, How to Get the Right People Doing the Right Things Enough Times. And I want to welcome you to our show, Build a Tribe Live, where I have the privilege of interviewing business leaders, business experts, and up-and-comers with unique and distinct perspectives on how to attract, capture, and convert ideal prospects into customers online. Today's guest is Brandon Dempsey, who is the owner of Go Brand Go, which is an 18-person marketing firm based here in St. Louis. And he's done some amazing things in the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in St. Louis, and that's why I invited him in. He was recognized by the Small Business Administration as Young Entrepreneur of the Year in 2011, and last year was featured in Forbes. He is also, along with his business partner Derek Weber, the founder of the Go Cellar, which is a small business incubator, which to my knowledge is the only small business incubator focused solely on young entrepreneurs. So I've invited him in to talk a little bit about his ideas regarding how to use marketing to drive new business, how to use branding to attract more referrals and media attention, and also talk a little bit about his Go Cellar program. So Brandon, I want to thank you for joining us today, and if it's okay, just give you a little bit of time to tell our audience a little bit about your background and what it is that drives you to become, at this point, a multi-preneur at a young age. So if you wouldn't mind, just tell us a little bit about what brought you to this point.
I love business. I love growing business. I love seeing people work, and to me, creating Go Brand Go is the opportunity to create a business where individuals get to do what they love and be 100% true to themselves, and that's what I love. I love watching other people realize their full potential, and similarly with our clients, watching just people realize whatever that true potential is.
Awesome. Well, the format's pretty simple, Brandon. I've basically got about 10 questions, maybe a few related follow-ups, and I just want you to, really just share openly what your thoughts and feelings are on these things. Obviously, there are no right or wrong answers, but based on the perspective and experience that I know you've had, I know that whatever you have to say will be valuable to them. In your opinion, what really separates businesses that are in the same market from each other?
In my opinion, what separates businesses is the ones who focus on why they're in business as opposed to what they do. So businesses are able to connect on an emotional level with their customers, with their clients, as opposed to businesses that are just trying to sell the cheapest thing. And the businesses that connect on that why, on that deeper level, are the ones that price is not an option, because people constantly come back and support and help to grow those companies.
How do the good ones let the public know about that? I mean, one person can say that that's what they feel, but how is that demonstrated? How do you see that demonstrated?
I think it has to be demonstrated in the way the employees live their lives. The employees talk about the business starting first, because so many companies, to me, have this issue where they say one thing, but then the people on the inside, practice another.
That's true.
And so companies that say one thing about how they're going to run their business, about how they're trying to be innovative, about how they're trying to be customer service focused, that has to be part of the culture internally. So that means every interaction that a customer has with anybody with that company, whether it's on their social media, whether it's over the telephone, it has to be real. So if you look at like Go Brand Go, we will never have an operator, one of those fake computer operators answer the phone. It's always a live answer. And we have a culture inside our organization where it's a race to see who can answer the phone first. Because there's a level of excitement that when you call and someone from the company answers within 1 or 2 rings, it shows you a level of excitement that people are excited to be working with you.
Awesome. You talked about some of the social media and things like that. That brings up the topic that's near and dear to my heart, is connection. Connecting with customers can be a tricky proposition. And how do you define, in your opinion, what's too much connection, too little connection, and what should companies be doing to make sure they get it right?
For me, social media is about the conversation, right? And so many companies say, "Well, I don't want to get into social media because I don't want people to say bad things about me, or I just don't want to know." And to me, that's almost like them being an ostrich and putting their head down in the sand, right? There's this whole conversation already going on. Your target customers, people are talking about your business, people are talking about your product. Social media is just, do you want to be part of that conversation? Now, there are, I think, ways people go overboard and that they're posting too much and stuff like that. But I think that a healthy dose of responding to the communication of, I spend 5 minutes a day on social media. That's it. So it's not a huge part of my life, but it's 5 minutes a day, quality content, and then I'm blogging once a week. But I do think that people can be over aggressive with it, and that's almost like a pushy salesperson who's saying, hey, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me.
Right.
And that's when people just shut down. They want to be educated, taught, and led. And if you're able to do it in that way, I think it's much more well received.
Great point. What are some of the biggest marketing mistakes that you see companies making, and what can they do to avoid them?
Some of the biggest marketing mistakes I see companies make is really around like search engine optimization and a lot of web marketing. But for some reason, a lot of companies think that everything has gone to social and everything has gone to web. And in my experience, the referral is still one of the greatest drivers of business. So to me, if you look at internet marketing, that's kind of one piece of the pie. And you've still got a whole bunch of other methods of offline marketing. And I still think things such as direct mail, such as just good old going out and doing speaking engagements or authoring books. Those are great marketing tools that are really, social media, internet marketing should supplement a lot of the core marketing of getting your message right, getting your elevator pitch right, and that kind of stuff.
And to add to your point, a lot of times I see companies making the same mistake. They might put too much emphasis on online marketing, and then all of a sudden Google changes their algorithms, and all of a sudden, the portion of their business, 90% of their business is dependent upon attracting customers that way. Google changes the algorithms, and all of a sudden they're screwed. So, I take to heart what you said, and I hope our audience did too. What trends do you see coming that entrepreneurs should be embracing, and why?
So the biggest trend that I see coming right now has to do somewhat with mobile marketing and getting down to that why. So let's take first mobile marketing. So right now, a big trend is people are going to start accessing. 2015 will be the year of the smartphone. More people will visit websites off their phone than they will a computer. Which means if you think about your web presence for your company, now being scaled for mobile is huge in how people view your site and how people view your information. So you really need to be developing responsive themes or mobile sites so that people are having that good brand experience, because a lot of times your website, it just serves as a first impression for a lot of people. Second, I'm seeing a big push toward transparency and really connecting with that why. Of companies having to break down some layers. We can't put up these corporate guards and corporate veils anymore of, well, I just serve my product. I just build my product and you should buy my product. People want to know, how is that product sustainably made? People want to know, who is the management team? What are they involved in? People really want to connect with the people behind creating a product or service, not just that product or service. And that, to me, gets at that why and starts to get at, hey, what are the core values of this organization? And do I, as a person, identify with the core values that you have as a business? Because you may have a great product, but if we don't agree on a core value standpoint, on a core part, then I don't really want to do business with you. I want to go support other people who have my same core values.
Very true. And it's amazing that you talk about that. I mean, I was in Memphis this weekend with my son, and I intentionally went to tune out of the digital world for a while, and I didn't bring my tablet, I didn't bring my computer. All I did was have my mobile phone. But how I got from one place to another, or the restaurants we selected, how we got tickets to the events. I mean, almost all of it was done from my mobile phone. So I mean, it's just, I agree with you 100%. When a company decides to take on a new marketing or branding strategy, where should they start and why?
When a company goes to take on a new marketing strategy, I always recommend that they start looking kind of at themselves first and figure out, hey, what are those core values that we want to emulate? What are our 3 brand messages? And this is really, really big for me. What are the 3 core things that have to do with our business? Because that's where we need to start. And once we've got those sets of 3 core messages, then we have to make sure our internal staff supports those core messages. And then from there, we start marketing outwardly. Because the worst thing you could ever do is what I call the Charter effect, if you will, a little bit. The Charter effect is, Charter is a cable company here. And while they provide great high-speed internet service, their customer service just absolutely terrible. And they put out all these great marketing messages about how fast they are and how great their customer service is and everything else. And then you call in and the person doesn't even want to talk to you on the phone. And I call that the Charter effect. It's when your external marketing doesn't relay or jive with your internal messaging. So you've got to start with, hey, what do we want our 3 core messages to be? How do we get employee buy-in on those 3 core messages so that every customer experience is relating to those 3 core messages? And then you start layering on your direct marketing, your internet marketing, everything else, but it all should relate back to those 3 core messages.
Great. In your opinion, what role should employees who aren't in the marketing department play to contribute most to an organization's success? You've hinted on it a few times, and it's a theme that we've had in conversations offline, but I was wondering if you'd, for the purpose of our audience, share your opinions on that.
Yeah, employee buy-in with those core messages is vital, because employees, are the ones who oftentimes are interacting with that customer, whether through a customer service standpoint, whether through the products they're building, or even talking about the company and talking about as they're out and about. So the employees have got to have buy-in on what are those three core messages, and that really comes, to me, back to a solid leadership and a solid vision of, hey, this is where we're headed. So employee buy-in and employee engagement, and allowing the employees to really have a voice in shaping the company to a large extent is really, to me, vitally important for being able to communicate that brand and being able to communicate that brand message, but more importantly, being able to live that brand message every day. Because so many companies want to communicate a brand message, but they don't want to live it. And if they don't live it, then they're not practicing it. And you and I can spot a fake,
Sure,
10 miles away. And that's like spotting a company. If you spot a company that's fake, that's not genuine, you're not going to be able to identify with it, and you're not going to want to do business with them.
well, it's interesting you say that, because if I call and Jane Doe picks up the phone, she wins the race and picks up the phone, and I have a bad experience with her, I don't ask what's the matter with Jane Doe who picked up the phone. I ask what's the matter with this company.
Exactly.
Because to me, she is the company.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any cool tools out there that you're a fan of that you'd recommend to entrepreneurs? And if so, what are they, and why would you recommend them?
Tools I use, so I'm a huge fan of Google Apps. I just wrote a blog post actually on this. It's trending. It's the #2 most popular page on our site right now. Very exciting. And I just wrote a blog post on all the different tools of Google Apps. So Google Apps combines email with voice, with chat, with video chat. I have all my documents there, so I've totally gotten rid of Microsoft off my computer, and I use all Google Apps for Excel and Word and presentation. And it's a great tool that allows a tremendous amount of collaboration with one another. So online, Google Apps is really my go-to tool, because it just makes my life so much easier, and it integrates with every device I have. Offline, I just picked up this new Jawbone Jambox. I don't know if you've seen these little things or not, but they're awesome. Not only do they play great music, but it's a phenomenal speakerphone. And a lot of entrepreneurs I run into, their cell phone, their iPhone, or their Android, that's the dominant phone. But the speakerphones stink on them. And so I picked up this little Jawbone Jambox, and it's true. I can put it in a conference room, and I could have 10 people around, and we can have a crystal clear, great conference call off that Jawbone Jambox. So to me, there's an online tool and an offline tool that really help.
I'm sold. I'll be buying one today. So thank you. Tell us a little about your Go Cellar that you just launched. What is it, and why'd you start it?
So Derek and I are really passionate about young entrepreneurs. When Derek and I both graduated college, we launched our businesses straight out of college. And the people that we went to talk to get advice from were largely guys that were, our parents' parents. Guys that had been in business.
You might say they're old.
Yeah, they were old white guys with white hair and whatnot. And it was just, we didn't connect with them. It wasn't, they can't really relate to a young entrepreneur. And so Derek and I really felt that there was a void in young entrepreneurship. And what we thought is, hey, how could we create something to fill this void, but how could we create something that would inspire other people to do it as well? So what we decided to do is we bought a building, and we're going to give one young entrepreneur a 1-year runway to launch their business. So they're going to get free room and board, living in a building that Derek and I have, and they're going to get free rent out of Go Brand Go. Okay. And then free equipment, everything's paid for 1 year, and then mentoring and coaching and everything else. And it's going to give them a 1-year runway to launch their business. After a year, they get to move out. We do not take any part of their business whatsoever. We're not taking an ownership stake or anything like that, but we are going to ask them to tithe 1% of profit back to the incubator for a period of time. So that way it'll start funding and paying for the next set of entrepreneurs that are going to be incubated and grown. And so for us, Derek and I we're passionate about young entrepreneurs and helping young entrepreneurs succeed.
Well, I'll spread the word, because I have people call me on all the time asking for advice or guidance in this area or that area, and for the ones that fit that demographic, I'll be sure to send them your way. Last question. If there was just one piece of advice that you could share with entrepreneurs trying to grow their business, what would it be?
Figure out your core messages, figure out your core values, figure out your core messages, and stay true to those, because so many entrepreneurs I meet with are so focused on the sale and so focused on making that money and building that product for getting that customer. So they are pushing and pushing and pushing. And what they don't realize is if they start first with those core messages, with those core values, determining what those are, that's kind of like the law of attraction. That once you know who you are, once you know what you're trying to build, then people will be attracted to you because they want to help build something great with you. People don't want to just interact with you to buy something one time. They want to interact with you and help you build something great. So if you can paint a picture of building something great that you're trying to build, it's going to be the law of attraction, and people are going to flock to do business with you.
Awesome. Brandon, I really appreciate you coming in, and I hope our audience has learned as much as I have and enjoyed it as much as I have. If you would like to know more about the ways that Go Brand Go and Brandon Dempsey can help your organization attract new clients, generate referrals, get media attention and publicity for your organization, then I want to encourage you to visit gobrandgo.com. If you want to reach Brandon directly, his email is bdempsey, then that's BDEMPSEY at gobrandgo.com. If you're looking for ways to attract, capture, and convert more of your ideal prospects into customers, then I want to invite you to visit buildatribe.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any new interviews when they come out or educational training videos when they come out either. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.